What's going on? It's your boy Arthur Chris Jackson. I'm back here. Y'all know what it is all the time. This the first book. The second one we ain't put all the way together yet, but this the first book. You know it's one coming. It's already pretty much done. It's in the works, y'all. So now listen. Like this channel, subscribe to this channel, comment on this channel, and share. You know what I mean? Because it may be diversified in so many different ways that it may help and bless somebody. Progress. That's what we on today. What type of progress, or how do you view progress? Because what I've been looking at is that you can do something but not move in the direction of stuff that you want to do, if that makes sense. So you can do some things, but you may not do enough where you feel like it's progress. Do you comprehend what I'm saying? Because I have things going, right? I'm doing this or I'm doing that to get somewhere, and sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, so I feel like I'm not progressing. But the difference is that I'm actually still moving to the place I need to get to. And a lot of us will take that negatively and be like, well, man, I'm not where I should be or where I would be or where I need to be. But you got to realize, if you're moving, if you're diligently doing something to get to the place that you want to be, that's progress. We equate it in so many different ways, and I'm looking at it from this vantage point, as a spiritual vantage point. Like, for me, I don't know about nobody else. I can't talk about y'all. I can only talk about me. So I'm helping y'all with help me at the same time. Let's go. So now with me, after I come back in the morning from like working out, whatever I got to do, get myself together, get cleaned up, I have to go pray. Like when I open my eyes, this is the first thing I say, Lord, but this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. That's what comes out of my mouth when I crack my eye while I'm in the bed. Well, you know, still got the man in my mouth. I got to get rid of him, but you know, that's what comes out first. So once I've done all that, I feel uncomfortable because I have times where I feel like I'm a little overwhelmed or overconsumed with things I may have to do that day, and I may not get down in my little quiet spot and pray like I normally do. I might be like praying on the go. That's just another way to look at it, because you know, I'm moving around. I'm like, okay, Lord, let's talk. You know, I'm listening, but I'm being active. I realize for me, can't talk about you. I can only talk about me. What I understand is that my progress shows me when I take that time out. He reveals things to me when I take that time out to be quiet and listen. And for me, that's magnanimous. It speaks volumes for me personally. I can't, because his relationship may not be like your relationship. You get what I'm saying? Because we vibe differently. Because we move differently. I move differently. So we have to understand our relationships, our vertical relationships, our agape relationships are not always going to be the same. You can see people doing things and you'll watch how they conduct themselves, and the first thing that may come out of your mind is that they can't know God. The problem is they may know God better than you, but that's just what they haven't decided to let go of yet. But that's a whole other topic. We talking about progress. The thing is, how do you progress? Or progress? How do you go ahead and advance yourself in whatever you're doing? Like if you want to be a better basketball player, you're going to spend time on the court. You're going to start watching film. You're going to watch other players. You're going to start challenging yourself. You're going to find out what it takes to shoot a perfect shot. You're going to know how to flick your wrist. You're going to know how to keep your elbow straight. You're going to learn how to dribble the ball, how to go ahead and move and maneuver your body and manipulate your body. You're going to learn how to get to the basket. What's the best way? Do I jab step? Do I step back? You know, you're going to understand these concepts. It's the same thing with God and your life. Am I going to pray? But not only am I going to pray, am I going to spend a little time in His Word? I ain't saying you got to sit here for 45 days just fasting and praying. That's a choice. If you can make it 45 days, hey, that's something that you might want to do. I'm just that ain't my goal right now. I just want to get that relationship me and him, he and I are supposed to have. You get what I'm saying? So your relationship is always going to be different, but it doesn't mean that you're not progressing in your relationship with God. Don't ever let nobody make you feel as though because they may understand scripture better, or they can understand or rather break down a scripture to you and make it a little bit a little plainer, a little simpler. Don't mean your relationship with God is not as valid as theirs. Let's start right there, because a lot of people have the tendency, especially people who are saved people or church folk, whatever you call them, or whatever they want to label themselves as, will have a tendency or propensity to be like, okay, make them seem like they're a little better than you because they may know a little more than you. You might know 2 more words out the scripture than me. You might have read the scripture right before you came. That don't mean you got a better relationship with God than me, because you can quote every verse and you understand the verse, but are you living the verse? Y'all wasn't ready for that because he said faith without works is dead. So in other words, progress requires work. For you to progress in anything in your life, you're going to have to put in some work. I'm a barber by trade, but I had to put in work. I had to pay attention to other barbers. I pull up videos. Me, myself, I watch different haircuts, different styles. I see how some people do it, but I have to figure out what works for me. I see the cats in the barbershop, and I feel like everybody in the shop I work with, they serious business with them clippers in their hand. So I had to become serious business with them clippers in my hand. You feel what I mean? But I'm at the point where I progressed. When I first initially started down there where I'm at now, I was sitting around because I didn't have a class like them. But what I kept doing was I kept putting in the work. I kept paying attention. I kept watching. I kept listening. And if one of the brothers in there told me something, I didn't take it as criticism. I took it as a learning point. It's like, hey, man, you might want to do this or do that to make your client a little crispier, to make his cut a little cleaner. I took heed to it because a lot of us, when people want to help you something that's going to actually progress you, we take it what somebody else want to tell us something because we take it as a negative connotation. And I'm going to tell you what somebody told me, and this is so true. It's who you hear it from, how you receive it. If it's not somebody that you admire or respect or admonish in some type of form or fashion, you can take it as a negative connotation. But anybody can tell you something because I have young cats sitting in the chair and tell me stuff, and I'm like, man, I appreciate that. Why? So because I did not know that. I thank you for that because you just taught me something I didn't know. You got to learn. It ain't where it come from. Are you willing to receive it? Because then you can progress if you're willing to receive it. If somebody gives you a bad report about what you're doing for them, learn to receive it and understand like, well, let me look at myself. Can I turn this around so I can progress and get better at whatever I'm doing? That's what progress is about. Willing to be receptive to whether it's positive or negative. That's a big difference. So when your spiritual progress, God gonna show you stuff and be like, I don't want you doing that anymore. And if you continue to do it, you just want to keep doing it because you feel like you're gonna get somewhere doing it. That's you. Thank God. He showed you. So when things start going the left way or not going the way you will for them to go, and you confused like, why is all this bad stuff happening? He like, I told you the direction I wanted you to go. But you, being who you are, feel like I can do this better my way. And a lot of times, the most simplistic answers are what we need. We want all these grandiose things, all showing out who people doing flyers and all kinds of crazy stuff. It ain't that serious, man. A lot of times to progress, it's usually a simple step. It's just taking that step, bam, bam, taking these steps, bam, and you're getting there. Because a lot of people will run and go past where they need to be. Because it said the race is not given to the swift and the strong, but those who endure to the end. In other words, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Don't worry about it. You're going to get there. Me and little brother started a business, and we've been working on getting it up and running for the past 2 months, literally. Now it's at the point, we're right at the point where we can actually get started moving and start creating some revenue instead of keep spending money. But it's the journey that helps you understand while we're getting there. We're starting to learn things we didn't know. We're starting to learn things from other people and see what they do that we may not want to do. Or we see things from others that they do that we might want to kind of incorporate in what we're doing because it's worthwhile, it's beneficial. That's all progress is. Willingness to be receptive on what can bless you, or maybe take something out of your repertoire and add it to theirs, take something out of their repertoire and add it to yours. That's all it is, man. Taking your time. Like, I mean, perfect example, like with me writing this book, that was something he gave me. But I didn't just do it on my own. He blessed me and told me to start talking. I talked to a lot of different people randomly about different stuff, different contexts, and different concepts in this book. And I took everybody's opinion, whether I may not agree with what they said or if I agreed with it. But I wrote them all down and I incorporated them. Why? Because the book is to help you help you. It's not about me teaching you about me. It's about me teaching you what I've been through and the things that helped me become who I am now. And I'm still not where I want to be. I'm still growing. I'm still learning each and every day as an individual, as a man. So my progress is still taking place. You got to realize your progress is still going to take place. You got to facilitate the work, though. Your progress stops when you stop. If you decide you feel like I'm at the top of the mountain, then you've reached your goal. But you got to realize, when you get to the top of that mountain, it's almost one more mountain to climb. Something that might be a little bit bigger, might be something else that you may want to accomplish you didn't even consider, or you haven't even thought about. And then you're like, wow, well, I could also do this. So don't limit yourself, because God ain't got no limits, so don't limit yourself, okay? Hey, listen, it's your boy. It's always love. Till next time, hey, what? It must be me. What? It must be me. Peace.